Hello people, so today we're going to be covering Alan Titchmarsh, born the 2nd of May 1949 in Ilkley in the West Riding of Yorkshire in the UK. So that currently makes him 69 years old at the time of making this video. So he's the son of Bessie, who was a textile mill worker, and Alan Fred Titchmarsh Sr., who was a plumber. So in 1964 he left school and then he went to work as an apprentice gardener with Ilkley Council. He then went on to study at Hertfordshire College of Agriculture and Horticulture for the National Certificate in Horticulture, and then he moved to Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew, so Kew Gardens, to study for a diploma in horticulture. So he graduated and then he stayed on at Kew and he was employed as a supervisor and a staff trainer. And he left in the year 1974 to pursue a career in gardening journalism. So he appeared on television on the BBC show Nationwide as a horticulture expert, and he was then invited to present the Chelsea Flower Show for BBC in 1983, and he hosted this every year until 2013. In 2014 he was replaced by Sophie Raworth. He's been on other BBC shows such as Open Air and Breakfast Time as a guest presenter or as a gardening expert, and he's provided commentary and he also answers viewers' questions as well. So most famously, Alan Titchmarsh presented Gardener's World. So in the year 1996 he started to present Gardener's World from his own garden. So in the year 1997 he presented a program called Ground Force, and he presented this with Charlie Dimmock and Tommy Walsh. You may remember, Charlie Dimmock was the sort of ginger-haired lady, and Tommy Walsh was the big builder chap. And when I think back, growing up here in the UK around that time, I do remember watching Ground Force, and I really enjoyed that because it was kind of like an amalgamation, so to speak, of different aspects of gardening. You had Alan Titchmarsh with your the horticulture and the plants, etc., and then you had Tommy Walsh, who was your builder and your landscaper, and Charlie Dimmock, who I believe her speciality happened to be water features. So yes, certainly a nice television show there that I enjoyed watching. And I remember a while ago I read an article which Alan Titchmarsh has been criticised for his use of decking, or indeed the show Ground Force was criticised for that because, in the 1990s, and lots of people then went on to have decking done because they saw it on Ground Force. But then, of course, 20 years later, it becomes a rotting mess because it hasn't been maintained. But what I'll do, if I find that article, I'll link it down below so you can click on that and have a look. But probably meant to be taken tongue-in-cheek more than anything, but a bit of humour. So yeah, the show Ground Force, that travelled as far as the United States and to South Africa as well. And they also made over Nelson Mandela's garden, so quite a bit of travelling going on there. So a very strong brand indeed attached to Alan Titchmarsh, and he has his own line of gardening tools as well. And he's presented Songs of Praise, programmes on Radio 2, British Isles and Natural History. In 2005 he hosted a special edition of the Antiques Roadshow. This was called the 20th Century Roadshow. And he's also presented the Paul O Grady show when Mr. O Grady was off for medical reasons. So rather varied career there. This one here particularly interests me. In the year 2007 he hosted the Great British Village Show. This is where gardeners, cooks, people like that from the UK, they competed to be the best at growing runner beans, tomatoes, pumpkins, knitting, baking cakes, making jam. And very far away from gardening, in the year 2010 he presented a series of Popstar to Opera Star with Mylene Klass, I think that's how you say it. And since 2011 he's presented the gardening show Love Your Garden. So he's written numerous gardening books. I'll name a few. 2005, The Gardener's Year. 2005, The Complete How to Be a Gardener. 2008, The Kitchen Gardener, Grow Your Own Fruit and Veg, 2009, How to Garden, Gardening in the Shade, 2009 again, How to Garden Vegetables and Herbs, 2009, How to Garden Container Gardening, 2009, How to Garden, 2009, How to Garden Lawns, Paths and Patios. So numerous books there on gardening he's written, so probably imagined by now that his series is called How to Garden, and it's all different aspects of gardening. So very much worth checking those books out if you see fit. So as well as writing gardening books, he's a novelist as well, and his first novel was named Only Dad, or is named Only Dad, and it was published in November 2001. So he's written other novels as well. 2018, The Scarlet Nightingale. 2014, Bring Me Home. 2001, Only Dad. 1998, Mr. McGregor. 1999, The Last Lighthouse Keeper. 2006, Love and Dr. Devon. So certainly a lot of novels there. There's plenty more to look at as well. So that shows a diversity of. He's married to Alan Titchmarsh and has been since 1975. He has 2 daughters and he resides between Hampshire and the Isle of Wight in the UK. And this is one that I particularly like. In the year 2004, he became the president of Perennial, and this is known as the Gardeners Royal Benevolent Society, and it's one of the UK's oldest charities, created in 1839 in order to help gardeners and horticulturalists who are facing times of difficulty. He appeared in an advertisement for the Yorkshire Tourist Board, which is now known as Welcome to Yorkshire, and this is part of a series, and it included other Yorkshire-born celebrities, including Brian Blessed and Melanie Brown. He does voiceover work for advertisements, and he also voiced the title character, intriguingly, in Gordon the Garden Gnome, which is a cartoon series for Cbeebies, and that's a children's channel. And this is most intriguing. He has a waxwork at Madame Two Swords, and apparently it has to have the waxwork has to have its face cleaned twice a week to remove lipstick smudges on the on the lips of the waxwork of Alan Titchmarsh. So this indicates he is potentially popular. June 2012, he presented Elizabeth, Queen, Wife, Mother on ITV. He occasionally is into church bell ringing, and in 2011 he rang for the celebration of the marriage of William and Kate. So yes, there really is a lot of information out there on Alan Titchmarsh, and certainly very popular chap indeed. I remember, when I was growing up, as I stated earlier, I remember seeing him present Ground Force and Gardener's World, and I've got lots of memories of that. And quite often you see Alan Titchmarsh on television now, you hear him on radio, so a very popular gentleman indeed. So yes, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you like my work, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. I've got many other ideas now of people to cover in these little biographies, so to speak, but please, anyone you'd like me to cover, just post them, the names down below in the comments. I'm getting a little bit better now at the technological side of producing these these videos. They used to take me ages, but you know, certainly getting a bit on the quicker side now. So yes, thank you very much for viewing. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next video.